Hey. I always miss where the snares go. Yo. Welcome back. It's your boy, Dre Brown, and this is Trill Talk Podcast. You dig? Welcome back. And before we go ahead and get into this, please, like, subscribe, and please hit that notification bell so you can get this new fresh content when it come out. You know, we staying consistent with the work. You dig? We staying consistent with the work. You know, so go ahead and share that to your people. Put this out there because we're trying to start these good conversations, man. Internally and collectively as a community, we're trying to start these good conversations and really look inside, because most of the answers to most of your quarrels in your life, right? Most of the issues that you got going on is really the root of it, and and the solution of it is all internal. It's all internal. It's you looking inside of you, finding out what's best for you, and going about that business, and being honest with yourself. That's the number one. You got to be brutally honest with yourself about where you at currently, where you want to go, and how you can push forward to get that actually make that dream manifest into you, or that goal manifest, right? You want your work and your ambitions to be in alignment, pulling towards the same goal, So along with that, we want to talk about something. Is all this stuff is kind of going in order. These recent episodes, right? Not necessarily in order, but they kind of correlate with each other, which a lot of self-help should, right? It should be building blocks, right? And this topic, I feel like most men don't really know. They may know this, but they don't implement this, right? And maybe even women, sometimes their actions or their words or even their voiced desires, right, are sometimes against their own best interest or the best interest of the collective, right? And we want to talk about that. It's basically the interest of the collective, right? If you're religious, you probably know this format being like, God over man, and if God is over man, and the woman's under the man, we're all in alignment with God, right? But if we look at that format, and we look at that kind of that formula, right? And if you're not religious and you don't have that kind of belief system, right? All it has to be is something of commonality. If you play team sports, it's the same concept of that, right? I know you're tired, right? I know you don't want to do it, and I know it may be better or easier for you to not do, but for the better of the team, it's needed that you exert yourself at points, especially when you don't even feel like it. Especially when you don't even feel like it, when you don't even feel like doing the thing that's required for the betterment of the collective. It's oftentimes required, and that's the key to unlock whatever you're trying to do, And talking with some friends this week, conversing about, our lives and experiences, all that kind of stuff, right? Round table talk, kind of, It came up that, like, is it a mistake for your partner to be your number one priority? Dre, what do you mean? What's wrong with that? What's wrong with you making someone your number one priority, your partner your number one priority? Because this isn't gender specific, right? It kind of goes both ways. It goes both ways. That's childish. It's boating up. It's boating up, you know? It's definitely, in my opinion, a mistake to make any person's self-interest the number one priority in the dynamics of a collective, like a relationship, a team, a partnership, a parenting, you know, the whole nine, right? Because oftentimes what's good for the few or what's good for the you might not necessarily be good for the collective. Again, we talked about humans naturally wanting to take the path of least resistance. Do less to get the most, right? Work smarter, not harder type shit, right? And in a relationship, that kind of shit, or a partnership or a team, that don't fly, you know? That is a quick way to make someone feel used or abused, right? Because, case in point, if I always worry about you, if I always think what's best for you, and you want to eat Papados every day and go on shopping sprees, right? And we don't work because working is hard and strenuous, and I rather put you in a state of, what you would say, pampering, rather than a state of productivity. And it's incredibly dangerous when the male exhibit these behaviors. Dre, what's that? Why? Why would it be wrong for a man to make his woman his number one priority? And truth be told, the woman don't want that. If you be honest with yourself, you really don't want that. You want what's best for you two together to be what my priority is, right? Now, you are a very high priority, and in some cases, you are the number one priority, or you know, you take priority in certain scenarios. But when it comes to the fact of you are actually taking all the things that made you attractive to this person. They might have liked how financially stable you were, how structured you were, how independent you were, how confident you were, all these things, right? Maybe a good parent. And if you lose focus and become too dead set on what your partner was going on between your partner's ears, right? Rather than the things that initially attracted your partner to you in the first place. If it's your fitness, you stop going to the gym because you want to spend more time hanging out in my face, which sounds good in the short term. But when we're talking about partnerships and we're talking about relationships and we're talking about long-term planning, when does short-term gratification ever really pan out and pays you on the back end also? So now I'm 200 pounds, 250 pounds. I got love handles because you said that I spent too much time at the gym and you wanted to spend more time with me. And now you got that, and you get your wish, right? But you don't give them 100% of you, right? Because you stop becoming who you are. That's why the phrase, the common phrase is like, it's easy to lose yourself in a person, to lose yourself in a relationship, to lose who you actually are beyond someone's wife, husband, father, mother, boyfriend, girlfriend, what have you, right? Who you are as an individual, because that's what attracted them to you, because you was none of those things prior to the relationship forming. You was none of those things prior to when the interest or the courtship started. You are who you are. So what's the shock when you stop being who you are? Not like this. You don't have to be the same person you were when you met, right? That's not what we're talking about, because that's stagnant. We never want to preach being stagnant and not growing. We don't want to do that. We don't do that, right? Well, you're gonna evolve through your experiences and throughout time and all these things, but you are still you. You're just a more evolved, a more in-depth version of yourself, right? But you are not the slave of your partner, the emotional slave of your partner, the financial slave of your partner. When they're not really asking for it, for real. And one of the two have to be responsible enough to understand what's going on, what the actual that, hey, this is unhealthy, eating candy every day. This is unhealthy, drinking every day, partying, staying up to 5 a.m, off 2 hours, 3 hours of sleep. It's oftentimes naturally assumed that the male, but we understand that there's interesting dynamics in relationships, and sometimes the female is the responsible one. And that dynamic works for them particular people. But someone has to be. It can't be the blind leading the blind, or the self-indulge being enabled by the enabler. And neither one can help themselves. That is what we call toxicity. That's what we call toxicity. You know, somebody has to know what's best, at least for themselves, and be able to try to apply that to the partner. You got to know that, hey, even though I know they keep feeding me candy all the time, and I like candy, I like sweetness, I got to know that there's some self-accountability comes into play, that on that note, that I got to know what's best for me. Right? I can't stress it enough. You have to stay attractive. You have to stay attractive, because consciously they may be saying, I want more time with you. Ooh. Subconsciously and in reality, that's not the case. The reality of the situation is someone has to be the leader. Someone has to be the quote unquote grown up. This ain't how this should go. And then if we can correct it, we can correct it. But some people, personalities, that's just how they are. Then it's on you to, make whatever kind of decisions you want to make. It becomes, when we get into like how there's gender roles and all that stuff gets blurred, right? And let's say there's not gender roles in relationship, but there's most definitely roles, right? And
if she's assuming you to be the leader and you like to have say and you got opinion, there's a difference between being bossy and being a leader, right? A leader has a plan. A leader knows how to stay fluid, motivate, be stern, and enforce, and also inspire, and cultivate an environment that's conducive for the team members, right, to perform at an optimal level. A boss is just mostly just someone's opinionated that don't want to do the work themselves, so they delegate actual work. You know, and if she's assuming you to be a leader, and you're kind of having the persona of a leader, you need to be capable of that position. And to the fellas, if you do a self-inventory, and you not even self-inventory, look at your track record, right? Your past performances. If you can't build upon those things, if you don't have what it takes to be resourceful or be able to stand on your own to carry some motherfuckers with you, then you need to go back to the training field. You know what I'm saying? You need to be out here fucking with these women. Because if I'm breaking the news to you, little bro, they're expecting you to be a leader, my boy. Because if they got to keep driving the fucking car, if they got to keep making the decisions, even though they're capable of, because they've been doing it they're single, they're adults taking care of themselves, rather if they got kids or not. If they have kids, that's even more, you know what I'm saying? Expecting you to take over a certain role at a certain level because there's liabilities for your negligence. You know what I'm saying? If she's single, but she's an adult, she has her own house, own place, car, career, what have you, that means that she has resources that she would like not to be jeopardized with, again, ill-informed or negligent people making decisions on her behalf, right? So she bow her head to you, not in the sense that she's subservient, right? But she decides to be cooperative and take your lead. She decides to do that, right? Then my boy, you have to be ready if you're trying to play in the game. If you ain't did no self pre-work, none of that for you. You ain't got a pot or a window. You don't know how to even construct a pot or a window. Then damn, what the fuck are you doing trying to lead somebody's household? Or trying to lead other human beings when you can't lead yourself? That is the most backward shit ever, my boy. Even though your instinctual nature, yeah, you want something, but that want is supposed to propel you to better, propel you to more, right? Not you because you hungry, you just gonna. So you got a great hunger. You want you want some shit. So instead of searching out the things or making yourself credible or making yourself, what would you say, making yourself viable for this position, right? You just either finesse your way into the game, right? By lying on the application, lying at the interview, or you go find really someone that's in a desperate situation and you take advantage of that. Because maybe they don't know no better, for real. And those are the people that need actual guidance. They don't need your bullshit, my boy. Dealing with whatever kind of mommy boy issues that you got going on, that's what they don't need, right? And women, you gotta do better at vetting these motherfuckers. You gotta do better at understanding that it's not about how you feel the person is, right? And then like this, the things we're talking about, the things that remaining attractive. If the things that attracted them to you, right, were of, let's say, shallow or not necessarily the best standards, right? Ooh, girl, he's 6'6". There's some 6'6" fucking murderers and rapists. So, you know, it gotta be deeper than that. Now, it could be 6'6" and he reads books. He whoop-de-whoop. He got to take care of the Okay. Does this man exhibit the qualities that you are looking for in any other facet of his life? I think I might have fucked some of y'all over. Does it? If you're an honest person, if I want to know if you're an honest person, right? More likely, you're always going to be, you're going to try to be honest with me in our one-on-one encounters, right? But if I observe you cheating in a board game, maybe lying about, I don't know, how many drinks you had, or, you know, a variance of things. You see it in other instances. If they cheat on their wife, you know it's probably not a good business partner, because if you would cheat on your life partner, you more likely cheat on your business partner also. Things of that nature. Does this man exhibit the qualities or the capacity to do these things, not just you feel like there's potential that we're all capable of anything. I'm capable of mass murder, but that ain't how it's not in the plan. That's not how it's going to, I'm not going to do that. I don't see that playing out in my life. I don't think that's God's will for my life. You know what I'm saying? But look at how they move and shake in other realms of their life, in their professional, if they're in their romantic, in their fun life, their personal life, how they are on social media. You know what I'm saying? A variance of things. See if you can see any indications of that. And if you can, then now we got some good ground to sow into. Because if you're capable of anything, if you're capable of anything at any time, you're capable of anything at every time. Right? So if you can do it in the twos and fews, you can do it in the big, you know what I'm saying, all the way throughs. You know what I'm saying? That's my interpretation on it, right? That's how I naturally feel about it. You know what I'm saying? If you can be self-sacrificing at work, if you can do what's best for the team at work, why can't you come home and do the same thing? Again, it takes exertion. Oftentimes we fall into our feelings, meaning that we go about how we feel about going, not doing the things you know you that needs to be done, or doing, you know what I'm saying? That's what discipline does, right? That's how But when you just with your feels, I don't feel like going to the gym today. I didn't feel like recording this podcast today. It doesn't matter. Because you have to do the thing. Because if you don't do it, it's not done. Right? And you have a role and a responsibility in this relationship partnership to do these things, whatever these things are, and they may be fluid. The task or the requirements of the day may vary day to day, hour to hour. But if you really want something to work, you're going to do what it takes to make that thing actually work. You're going to, even if I got to tell my girl no. Because I guarantee you this, right? If I say, hey, I don't want you to wear that dress tonight. I don't like you to dress like that. That by itself is not leadership, or you just letting her wear some, say she want to wear like a sheer suit out. Ain't nothing wrong with it. Your boy Dre, I love him. Holla at me, I love him. You hear me? Especially ones with the good bodies. Now some get into them that we ain't gonna get into that. That should maybe reconsider, but you know, for the most part, you know, if you know what I'm saying, you trying to show it, I'm trying to, anyway. But if we have a bigger goal, say, for example, I don't know, I have aspirations of maybe political office at some time. And it may not be conducive, or my business going public, you know, whatever the various reason, right? I have a legit reason because it's to the betterment of the collective, right? Because, hey, if I move us, me doing this thing and this plan will move our family, our unit into a higher station or more benefit, you know, whatever the case may be, right? So I would like for you not to, I would like for you not to, you know, dress like that, maybe go out in public like that, be seen like that, because of what I'm trying to do, right? That's more digestible than, man, I don't want you wearing that because you look like a hoe. When does tearing down or not necessarily tearing down, but degrading your partner ever benefit morale? Oh, hell yeah, they say I'm a piece of shit. So, shit, I guess I'm gonna be the best. And I'm gonna go show them my best. Oftentimes, they feel like a piece of shit because the person's opinion that they hold the highest, the person that's their life partner, just kind of degraded them. Women, same thing happens when you emasculate men. What the fuck did I tell you about leaving this? Talking to this man like you're his mother. The same message. We want the dishes done and the trash taken out. But you can deliver that message in a much different. Because, you know, if I'm not necessarily doing it to make you happy, but I know a happy, positive, high vibrating you is most beneficial to our unit. You function better. Who doesn't function better when they vibrating like that? When they're at a high energy, when they're in a state of bliss, and getting support from the person they want support from in the world. So again, I'm not telling you don't make your partner a priority or a high priority. But the number one priority for both should be the collective. And definitely not one partner's personal self-interest. If you see it one way and your partner see it another way, you should be able to come to an understanding, and find a middle ground in between there that's best, that you agree upon, that's best for, again, the collective. Not what's best for you, not what's best for me, not how I think it should go down, not 100% my way. I don't win. It's not a win-lose. we win when we do what's best for us, right? And again, people a lot of times lose focus of that, and you still you want to stay the same confident, powerful, sure individual that you are. Remain that person, because that's who they love. That's who they want to be with. That's who they want to be in partner with. That's who they want to be in business with. That's who they want to take this journey with. So, that's number one, because you lose you trying to please someone else or live for someone else or live in the shadows of the expectations of someone else. You lose yourself, and you destroy the cohesion of the collective. We got a hole in the boat. And so, keep that shit in mind, man. I know it might not feel good, but what's best for us? What's best for the collective? So, that's all I got for y'all, man. I'm gonna let that marinate in y'all spirit for a little bit. So until next time, again, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. This has been another episode of Trill Talk Podcast with your boy, Dre Brown. So until next time, I holla.